Okay, so this is the how it looks like, the signal framework. It basically talks about four important areas: intent, system, activation, and revenue, right? So the signal framework focuses on getting the intent and building the system and then doing the activation, which will in turn affect your revenue. So that's the four major steps in the process. And now we're going to go into how we do that, right? How the signal framework actually works, right? How we identify the intent and the signals, how we build the system, and how we do the AI-led outreach and paid ads and like so on. So this is the signal architecture diagram. So signals architecture, or what we call as the signals playbook, is the step by step, the 7 step that we follow in order to create a continuous GTM loop and a system for GTM, right? So the first step is spot, right? So as a first step, we try to identify use cases of how we can spot, right? So there are different sources. For example, if somebody visits your website, we need to spot that. If somebody posts a job, we need to spot that. If somebody visits your G2 profile, that's a signal. We need to spot it. If somebody is hiring a lot of people around certain department, that's a signal. Okay, if some company is going through M&A, that's a signal, right? If some company got a funding for their product, that's a signal. So the signal sources can be many. The idea is, what are the use cases you're going to follow, and then what are the systems you're going to build to spot it. For example, you want all the new doctors clinic that has opened up in a certain area, right? You can spot that. Now you have the technology by which you can spot that, right? You can keep building the list, keep updating the list, right? You can keep getting this data from third party, from Google Maps, API, and other sources, and then you can keep updating the data. So you can spot it. So once you spot the data, you need to integrate the data, right? For example, you are spotting what kind of companies are posting what kind of jobs, right? And then you integrate those data with your internal system. It can be as simple as an Airtable or a spreadsheet, or it can be something like a Salesforce or a Hotspot. We are not going to discuss the technicalities here, but you need to integrate it. So once you're building the systems, you run the scraper, you call up the API, you get the data sources, and then you need to integrate with your system. It can be as simple as something as spreadsheet. It's perfectly fine, even if you're doing that. Okay, or it can be something more complex. That's up to you. But that's the next step. After S stands for spot in the signals architecture, I stands for integrate, then it is group, right? You group together, you create segment, right? For example, all certain type of healthcare clinics can be grouped together, and then you can, enrich as well, right? Okay, this is where you can do the enrichment as well. Okay, so when you group, you create segments based on the data that you are spotting. So, for example, all the companies who are posting data engineer jobs group together. All the companies who are posting network engineer jobs group together. All the companies within these segments subs can be created into subsegments that they belong to, healthcare industry, they belong to, heavy engineering industry, stuff like those, right? So you can group means, in simple word, is creating segmentation and sub-segmentation, and then you nurture it. That means you enrich it, right? Make sense? So that means you add more data. So group the data, add more information. For example, what is the size of this company? Is it a Fortune 500 company? What is the number of employees working for the company? Is this a funded startup? Is it a enterprise company? Is it a small business unit? Okay, where exactly is this company located, right? Okay, there are a number of information that you can source from different data sources, right? So you nurture, you add it. Okay, you group it, you add it, and then as a next step. So we have talked about 4 steps: spot, integrate, group, nurture. Okay, nurture the data. When I'm saying nurture, it's not even nurturing, it's data nurturing. Okay, data enrichment. Once the data is enriched, then you activate the campaign. So you can find all the people working, all the CIO working for this company, and you can reach out to those CIOs of the company, right? For example, you are giving some IT services, uh, you are providing some IT services. Okay, you're giving hardware or software, or you're providing manpower, whatever it is. You can then reach out to CIO and say, hey, you know what? We provide LAN, we provide network, we provide this hardware, and we are very good at it. And I see that you have a need out there in the market, and you fall under this category. So we have the right kind of product and service that you can use. So then when you activate the campaign, you activate the campaign based on the intent, based on real data, based on the right segmentation, based on the right enrichment, so that you can do the right kind of personalization, right? So fifth step is activation. When I say activation, I mean email, LinkedIn, multi-chat, ads, text, whatever it is. You can do all those kind of activation in any channel that you want, right? Then you create a loop. That means you continuously run those campaigns and see who is responding and who is not. If heavy engineering clients are responding to your message, and if healthcare clients prospects are not responding to your message, you got the message, right? Then you can nurture more on the heavy engineering space as compared to healthcare space, right? So that loop is very important. And once you identify that something is working, then you can go ahead and scale it. For example, for you, heavy engineering is working out well, so you scale the campaign based on on the industry of heavy engineering, and then you dumb down on healthcare. Right? So this is a very simple 7-step playbook that we follow, what we call as the signals playbook. We follow one step at a time, and then we connect the loop, okay, and we get the result every single time, right? If you build it right, you'll get the result. Okay. So every signal triggers action, every action improves the next signal. That's the whole idea about signal architecture. Right? Every signal will trigger an action, and every action will improve the next signal. That's the key word.